Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are having a great day. So today what we're going to be doing is I'm going to show you my everyday eyeshadow look that I do. I probably look a little weird right now because I just have on foundation and eyebrows, so it's really bright and in your face. But yeah, so I'm going to show you what I do pretty much every day. I'm not doing a different look. This is my day-to-day eyeshadow look. It's super easy. You can do it with any palette that you have at home. And yeah, simple, works for every eye shape, every eye color. It's just a great little tool to have in your makeup toolkit. So I'm going to get started. All right, so you can use literally any eyeshadow palette you have at home. I'm probably going to use the soft Glam and maybe the Kylie Jenner Sorta Sweet palette, just because it has all those natural basic tones that I'm looking for. Yeah, so the first step to this whole process is we're just gonna throw a shade in our crease. It can be a warm shade, a neutral shade, it doesn't matter. Any light brown. I'll show you a couple options. So this is more on the warm spectrum right here. This is burnt orange from the soft Glam palette. This is gonna give you a more warm tone to your crease. I like that on some days, but some days I want it to be a little bit more neutral. So I'll go in with something like cookie dough from the Sorta Sweet palette. It's a tiny bit more neutral. It is a tiny bit more yellow as opposed to the orange. I should have swatched them on both hands. But you see how this is more orange. This is more light brown and yellow. So I'm probably going to go in with that shade today. But yeah, use whatever light, medium brown shadow that you have in your own kit. So all I do is plop our first shade directly into your crease, and this is where you're gonna start to shape your eye. So for my eye shape, I like to put it in my crease and then kind of blend my eyeshadow outwards to give it sort of a cat eye vibe, super subtle, but it gives me just a little bit of shape, because I think my eyes are a little round, so this kind of pulls them out and gives me that sort of sultry, pretty vibe that I like to go for. If it looks like I barely have any shadow on right now, that's kind of the point. This is what we call just a transition shade. So it just sets the tone for our look. It makes everything super easy to blend in, so it's not just stark colors on your eye. And you can use any brushes for what I'm doing right now, but I like to use fluffy brushes to really get the color in there. All right, so the next step, again, super easy, is we're just gonna deepen up the outer corner of our crease. We're gonna put in a slightly darker brown eyeshadow, and it's gonna give us more dimension to our look and make our look not so flat and just one note. So again, you can take any darker brown eyeshadow you have. I wouldn't go too dark because it might be hard to blend, and we're trying to make this more of a daytime look. I think I'm gonna go in with Rustic from the Soft Glam palette. So as you can see, it's just slightly darker than that cookie dough shade I just used. And I'm going to use a slightly smaller blending brush just to kind of blend that out into the outer portion of my crease. And as you can see, this look is super fast, and you can honestly, this works for anything. You can use this as your nighttime look too if you wanted, or an event look. Literally anything, work, school, you name it. So we're just placing this darker shade out in our crease, and this is where we're really building the shape of how we want our eye to be. You can make it more round or make it more blown out like I'm doing, but you really just want to do whatever you're comfortable with and whatever looks best on your eye shape. And if you don't know, just try this way, because I think this is a very flattering shape on everybody, but you can just play around with it and see what works best for your eye shape. And just so that dark brown kind of ties in with the rest of our eye, I just go in, I can use the same brush or maybe even a smaller pencil brush. I'll just use this one. I just take that same shade, and then I just go on the bottom lash line a teeny tiny bit just to kind of tie the look together. Okay, we're looking good. We're in a good spot. Now the next part, super easy. Again, we just need to pick a lid shade. So you can go matte, a light cream color, buttermilk right here, or you can go in with something glazed where it's shimmery. So I'll show you the difference. I like to go with a shimmery one for my lid. I just think personally it makes my eyes pop, and you can honestly go in with any shimmery shade. This one is slightly gold, which I think is super pretty, so I'm gonna go in with that today. But yeah, you can either go with something light, anything light I'd put on your lid. It'll make your eyes pop, and if you have brown eyes specifically, it'll bring out that color. So we're just gonna place it on the first, well, the first 2/3 of our eye. So yeah, from the tear duct all the way to about right here. Just blending in. Follow the curve of your eye. If your shade isn't as pigmented as you want, you can spray it with a little face setting spray or a little bit of water just to make the shadow pop a little bit more. But for every day, I think whatever the shadow gives you naturally is fine. All right, so we are almost done. I'm just going to blend out the outer corner a little bit because we kind of took away some of the dark brown when we placed our lid shade on. So just go back in with that darker color, the second color we used, and just kind of blend out the line between your lid shade and your outer crease shade. Okay, now the absolute last step to this eye look is we want to highlight our brow bone and our inner corner. Again, you can go 2 different directions. You can either go shimmery or a matte. For my brow bone, I love using this shade specifically. It's Tempera from the Soft Glam palette. It's kind of like in between being a matte and a shimmery shade. I think it just gives me a really pretty like glow under my brow bone, but it also provides some coverage because it's like the base of the eyeshadow is matte. So I just put that under my brow bone, well, on top of my brow bone, and it blends out that light brown color. And if you need to clean up right here to make it a little bit more precise, you can dip into the shade as well, or even a face powder, and just sharpen it up a little bit and blend everything out. And like I said, if you don't have the shade that you want, just use your face powder up here to blend everything out. And blending is like the key to these looks. If it's not blended, it's not gonna look the best. So after I do that, I even go in again with the brush we used before. Go back and blend that out just so there's no harsh lines anywhere in the look. Okay, that was so easy. Now the last step is to highlight our inner corner. Again, this comes down to preference. I love a super shimmery inner corner. I think it makes my eyes pop and makes my eyes look so bright. But if you don't want it that flashy, you could go in with like a satin shade, which is kind of a little bit shimmery, but it's not matte, or you can go in with a very light matte shade. It's literally whatever your preference is. I'm gonna try a shadow I actually haven't ever tried before, and it's the shade Pearl from the Anastasia Sultry palette. And again, like I said, you could use whatever you have on hand that's a similar shade, because basically all the neutral palettes at the end of the day are basically the same. There's slight differences, but you can create really similar looks with like any neutral palette. So I'm going to dip this in here, and then I'm going to use a setting spray to wet my brush to get it super metallic, just because that's what I prefer. So when I do my inner corner, I just do the tear duct, and then I draw a little bit upwards and then a little bit downwards. So it's like the inner V of your eye, I guess you could call it. And if you want to get a tiny bit fancy, you don't have to do this. This step is optional, but I do this sometimes to make my eyes look bigger. I'll take that super shimmery shadow and just pop it right in the center of my lid. And it just kind of opens up your eye a teeny tiny bit more. And it doesn't add too much, but it does give you the effect of having big bright eyes. And it's super easy, so we only used a couple eyeshadows for this. I think it's a really pretty look. I'm gonna pop on mascara and I'll be right back. Alright guys, so this is a completed look minus a lip because I forgot to put any like lip shades on. My bad. But yeah, so this is super simple, super easy. You just pop a few shades in your crease and outer corner, pop on a lid shade, and then highlight your brow bone and inner corner, and it is just so easy. You can get a little wild and put on some eyeliner. That would look super pretty too. You can deepen up any of the shades or make them lighter depending on like what your preference is. So just like, this is like a really customizable look, and it's something super simple. And anytime I'm doing a friend's makeup, when they ask for something, I'll just do this because it works for everybody, and the shades are super complementary to a bunch of different skin tones. So yeah, try this out. Tell me if you like it. Let me know if you would change anything. I personally find that this works best for me, so tell me what works best for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I love making videos for you all, and yeah, let me know if you want to see anything else. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Show me some love, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!